through the parish newsletter, I saw an advert about marriage care. I didn't quite pick up on the role name at that point. It was more about the organization. So when I looked at it, it was marriage care, and it caught my eyes. So I was quite keen to understand what it was all about, and spoke to the parish priest, and the parish priest put me across to my center team, and I got to understand a little bit more on the organization and the role that they were looking for, the center coordinator role.
I was already part of marriage care in the Stockport Centre. I was a marriage preparation facilitator, and I'd been doing that work for about 3 years. So I knew how the centre operated and the roles of the various people in it. And the centre coordinator was standing down, and we were looking for a replacement. So I thought I had the time to do the work and could do the job. So I volunteered for it and was accepted.
I'd like to say that it was there to be done, and I felt it was a good way that I could serve marriage care better. But the actual truth is, it fell on me. It was the previous, as she was known then, head of centre, left, and somebody needed to step into the role, and I was actually happy to do it. Particularly considering it as a centre coordinator rather than the head of centre, which I think was a much bigger role.
So when they were looking for the center coordinator role, I thought, okay, if that's something that I can help with, so be it. Let me go for it, because I've got managerial experience in my career as well. So I thought, okay, fine, let me go ahead and support the organization in this center coordinator role, and I'm very, very happy to have been involved with the organization, because I love the ethics of the organization, the principles that we follow, because I think we are unique in our own way.
Well, I first heard about marriage care through our parish priest at church. He approached my wife and me one day and asked us if we'd like to apply to become marriage preparation facilitators with marriage care. I was a bit surprised, but thought about it, and I thought that being in a happy relationship was a good starting point to train to do marriage preparation. What I didn't realise was that I had quite a bit more to learn about building and maintaining strong and healthy relationships, so that was quite a bonus for me.
A priest actually asked me if I would be interested in being a counsellor, and I hadn't heard of marriage care up to then. Although I may have heard of its original title, which was the Catholic Marriage Advisory Council. I think I'd heard of that, but of course the name had recently changed. And once I joined, it's just the most extraordinary organisation with people who really care about relationships, about couples. Whenever I go to any of the large events, either the training events or the conference, happily that might start again this year. Obviously we've had nothing the last few years, but even on Zoom, I feel the presence of God in our large gatherings more strongly than anywhere else, and that includes in church. There's something so essentially good and loving about the melding of marriage care minds. Wonderful, wonderful organisation, wonderful people.
On some weeks you don't have anything much to do, but some weeks you might be more than 5 or 6 hours a week. It depends, because the role is more about advertising, and when it comes to recruitment, then we get quite involved because we need to work through that process. So that's where a lot more of our efforts are needed. And of course, coordination of the team. So that's more important because we need to make sure that we keep in touch with the team. And especially through this pandemic time, it becomes a bit quiet because you're not seeing people face to face. And so we needed to ensure that we were in touch at least, once in 2 months, or, just to keep ourselves updated in terms of how the organization is going, as well as the team feels involved that way. So I make sure that I coordinate all of those activities through the team, making sure we have team meetings, making sure we progress with any recruitment processes that we need to have, and any advertisements that we need to put across to parishes and things. So that's where I get involved.
Well, I think it's difficult to describe a typical week. There are certain jobs and functions that come around in cycles. For example, I attend a meeting for centre coordinators. At the moment it's about once a month on Zoom. And at that meeting, I get to hear the national picture for what's going on in marriage care and what's required of the local centres to implement the national policies. So following those meetings, I often call a centre meeting, which currently is through Zoom. So the whole team are briefed on what's happening at the national level and what we need to do at the local level. So that's on a regular cycle. Then there's recruitment of staff. We are always looking for new volunteers because people do leave, of course. I'm involved with local advertising. I work with our national support team for recruitment exercises. I'm involved in giving local interviews to people who want to join the Stockport Centre. And I do a lot of work liaising with parishes, with the parish priests. They're our main customer really for marriage preparation work, and I need to keep them informed about what we're doing, what we offer, meet new priests to introduce myself. And there's also a social side to the work. The centre meets 2 or 3 times a year for picnic in the park or go out for a meal, just to keep in touch with each other, as we do have different roles and we might not meet each other very much, on a day-to-day basis.
Well, some weeks there isn't a role at all. Some weeks nothing emerges. I check the emails to see if anything has come to heads of centre only, or coordinators only, and to see if any information needs to be passed around to the members. And sometimes there is, and sometimes it's been sent to everybody. And then sometimes I will pass it round. If it's important, I will pass around a message saying, hope you all saw Mark Molden's message. If you didn't, take some time to look at it because it's got some interesting information. So that sort of thing. Other times it's time to arrange a meeting with of us all, and that's always a pleasure to do. Picking a date and finding a time when we can all meet. Zoom work has made a big difference to that, because it makes it much easier for us to meet. So yeah, it's that sort of thing. A previous head of centre, as it was then, said that it took her about 1 day a week to fulfil her role, but she was very methodical and I'm not. So it's little bits when they come up. But it's basically just keeping a handle on what's coming from the centre office and making sure that everybody knows what's going on.
We are in between large and small, I mean, because we've got about 4 counselors and around 5 to 6 marriage prep facilitators, and we've got quite a few chaperones. So chaperones are there to support when we have face-to-face sessions in counseling. So, more aligned to large when you consider the chaperone team as well. But as a whole, I mean, I think we are a very good bunch as a team, and they keep me motivated, to be very honest, because the dedication that they have to the organization is just immense, and it really blows me out sometimes for the level of support and dedication that they have for their job, be it on the counseling side or be it on the marriage prep facilitation side, or even the chaperones for that matter. And I mean, when we have our team meetings, at least the counselors and the marriage prep facilitators make an attempt to join, which is really good. So it's like a one family, and it's good to actually catch up with each other once in a while, check on each other, how we're doing, and and if there's anything that we need to discuss or any topics of clarification that needs to be done, then we take it on and work together on it. So as a team, I think we are a great team. We work together pretty well, and they are a source of motivation for me as a center coordinator as well for them. It makes me do more and want to do more for them, and it keeps us going. So yeah, very happy.
It's about 10 members in the team. It's small to medium, I would say. We do marriage preparation and counselling work. We've got 2 counsellors, and we've got 4 marriage preparation facilitators. And then we have some support staff as well who act as receptionists for the counselling work, and help out with some of the admin. Stockport, it's a large town, so we find that we live fairly close together, I suppose, the team. It's not a rural situation, and we communicate largely by email and phone, and regular meetings, which are probably about 3 or 4 times a year.
It's small. Used to be a lot bigger, but we're now very small, but incredibly spread out. We go because we're Devon and Cornwall, and we're spread out we've got 2 counsellors in Falmouth, which is right down in the toe of Cornwall, if you're not sure where that is. Right down in the toe of Cornwall, it goes through Devon and up to, we've actually got one counsellor who wanted to stay with us as a centre, but he is just across the border into Somerset, into Ilminster. So it's a massive area, and it's always been very difficult for us to meet, and that's why Zoom is so good for us. It's because it means we can meet easily without somebody having to travel a very long way. So yeah.
My advice to people who take on this role is not to get worried. It's in the sense that it's too much of work or anything of that sort. No, it is manageable if you're able to manage your time. And me being a full-time worker as well, I'm able to do it. So I'm sure if I'm able to do it, anyone can do this job, and they should be able to support and give back to the society this way if they're able to, which is really good. And you feel pleased in a way that you're doing something back for the society.
Say to them, Marriage Care is a friendly organisation and supportive, both on a national level and on a local level. I've met some very good friends through my work for Marriage Care. I've met like-minded people in our local centre and in the national office, and I found it very, very rewarding and satisfying work.
I would say do it. Don't be scared. If you're thinking of doing it, it's a delightful role to take on. As long as you're okay with emails and just keeping in contact, it's a lovely thing to do. It's a lovely thing to do.